Good morning and welcome to PSJA Java Chat, your morning chat with your favorite PSJA ISD instructional technology integration specialist, where we discuss EdTech tools and trends with invited guests and, of course, our morning coffee.
Welcome to PSJA Java Chat, episode 11. Today we're joined by Iris Castillo and Felis Ojeda, our district innovators of the months of March and April. They are teachers at Garza Peña and Palmer Elementary, respectively. They are both passionate about integrated technology in the classroom and actively incorporate technology. Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first Java Chat in May. Today, we're doing a double session with Miss Iris Castillo, our innovator for the month of March, and Mr. Felis Ojeda, our innovator for the month of April. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We're going to start us off with a quick question, and it's going to go first to Ms. Castillo. And we want to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your educational experience.
Well, my name is Ms. Castillo. I'm a fourth grade teacher at Garza Peña Elementary. I've been in the district for 8 years, but I've taught for 5. They started me in pre-K actually, and then they said, you know what, we're moving you to 4th. So I've been in yeah. So it was quite a shock, but you know, I've been doing well. So
good.
Yeah.
And how about you, Mr. Ojeda? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your educational experience.
Well, my name's Felis Ojeda. I've been working at Palmer for 23 years already.
Wow.
PSJA. Yeah, I'm mostly 3rd grade and about 2 years of first. And first was a lot harder. I don't know why. I thought it was gonna be easy, but it was hard. But 3rd grade, I've been in 3rd grade.
First is a transitional year. They're coming from kinder and pre-K and used to more of center-based. And yeah, first they're learning a lot more different things. So yeah, I can understand how it can be a lot more difficult.
Yes, 1st grade is the hardest grade, I think, of all the grades to teach. So kudos to you for taking on that challenge. So, Mr. Ojeda, how did you get into using instructional technology in your classroom?
Well, basically through the help of my colleagues. Like, I'm like really old school. I used to be like, no, I don't want to use it. But yeah, when you have a good group, they'll tell you, no, don't worry, it's pretty easy. And they'll teach, like by doing it first, practicing it at home, and then doing it in the classroom. That's how I started. Being open-minded.
Good. That's good to have that open mind, because it's okay to try new things. They don't come out perfect right away the first time, but it's good to take on that challenge. Ms. Castillo, what about you? How did you get into using instructional technology in your classroom?
What helps me a lot is our CIT. She always we always go to her meetings, and she always has something new to show us, and I love it. Like I love going like, oh my God, like that's so cool, and like, oh, she loves teaching it to us too. It's always awesome going to her meetings and learning new things and trying it in the classroom like right away. Like it just to see it work with the kids. It's like, wow, like, these are awesome, trainings that are offered to us. So that's another, our main reason why I integrate technology, because it's shown to me, and I'm like, oh, because I don't always have the time to, oh, what's new, or I'm a mom of 3, and I'm running around all the time after work, and I don't have time to just sit down and scroll and see all these new things. So it's really nice to have those meetings so that I can get, oh, like, this is new, like we could try it out, and that's how it was introduced mainly.
Great. I'm happy to hear that you attend those trainings with your CIT, because they are a great resource at each campus that we have at the elementary level. So I'm glad to hear that, and thanks for trying out what she has, what she's showing you. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're very happy to hear that. It's kind of like giving us feedback of what we do with our CITs. And picking up back a little bit on that one, I want us to share some of the tools that you've been using, and you can tell us, what did you learn mainly this year? What new tools did that meetings give you that you liked a lot?
One of the tools that I liked was, especially because of our STAR testing, was that ChatGPT.
Uh-huh.
Like my mother-in-law, she's a technology person, and I was like, oh, okay. She would always talk about AI, and I was just like, oh, like all right. And then they introduced it to us, and I was like, oh my God, like that's so cool. Like it makes it here. And I actually had a coworker who was on scrolling on Facebook and one of her, teacher pages, and she saw that one was where they were putting in their their extended constructed responses into them with the rubrics, and they were rating them for them. So then when we found out that they were going to be using AI to rate the papers now for STAR, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is perfect. Like it gives us a little insight on how it's gonna work and how they'll read those papers. So I did it with my students, and and they're like, put mine in, and I would put theirs in, and it would tell them like, oh, you need to work on this and this, and they were like, okay, like. So I even had like my daughters in my class, so I put hers in, and it gave her an 8 out of 10, and she was like, like, cause she wanted 10. But it was like, well, what do I need to do? And it tells her exactly what she needed to do. So after then on, she started writing her papers exactly the way like it told her to do it. So I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Like it's really good, for them to see, and especially because put mine, because they want to see what the AI is gonna say. What's it gonna say? What's it gonna say? So, and nobody was scared and nobody was embarrassed, and it was really cool, like for them to see, this is how it's possibly going to be graded. Like we have to make sure that we're following the rubric and doing all these steps, and it was a really nice tool for them to use this year, and also making it easier for us.
Yeah.
Like lesson, like, oh, you need a lesson plan on this. Okay, well, I don't have time. Like, and you real quick, and it'll throw out things like nothing, and you're like, wow, like I was so amazed by it. I was like, this is so cool. Like, so I really like that one as well.
Very nice. So ChatGPT was the main one that you've been using for ECR grading?
Yeah, it helped us at the end when we found out. Yeah, as soon as she told us, I was there at softball practice using it on my phone, like trying to do it on my phone, like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, so, and then we went to the computer, and it was easier on the computer. But yeah, I use that, and I use Canva a lot too with my kids.
Yeah.
Introduced Canva to them, and they really enjoyed it. So I was like, oh, that's neat.
And Mr. Ojeda, how about you? What type of technology tools have you been using with the students?
I've been
And-
using Nearpod a lot for science,
Uh-huh.
and well, the kids love Lookit and GymKit
Uh-huh.
for like those help me focus on teaks that are not tested a lot, but they're gonna come out like odd and even and all that stuff. Miss Cantu also helped us with iReady, Imagine Math, how to focus certain lessons just for that certain kid, like differentiate. That has helped me a lot. Like also I've been using uh well, Google Classroom a lot lately. Like we would only do that for assignments, but now it's actually part of the lesson. Like every week we have everything ready. Like the lessons and the activities, games, because the children love games. Like
Yeah.
that's what I use the most. Like Google Slides for research. Like right now we're
Uh-huh.
doing research on a state they would like to visit, and it allows them to research, download, and they're even doing their own QR codes. Like I never used to, I didn't know how to do that, but with the kids and everything, like with my partners, they figure things out. Like once you let
Nice.
them, you give them a rubric and they'll figure it out. Like
Nice.
mhm.
Thank you. I want to encourage you, both of you, if you have not tried Magic School, which is it's AI based, but it's tools already created. So you just fill out a template that it gives you the information of what you need. So for example, if you want to unpack a teak, you can just put the teak and it will give you all the information unpacking it and everything for you. And we've seen one of our CITs last Thursday impressed me with what he was doing with creating a game. What was he transferring the game to GimKit? Wasn't it, Debbie, or
Yeah,
Mr.
GimKit.
Kikerina?
I think so.
He asked somebody create. He put create a tablet with these parameters, and then you can upload the table, not a tablet, the table into an Excel file into GimKit. So then you tell them exactly, I'm like, fill this and this and that. All the questions and the answers were there, filled out on the table, and it just transfers to GimKit. And he created a brand new game automatically with it. So AI is going to help you out a lot. Research, Magic School will give you a lot of tools, but either ChatGPT or Copilot are your best friends right now. So I'm so happy both of you are using a lot of different technological tools.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear that the students are excited about it as well, because that's motivating them, to do better work. So, Mr. Ojeda, do you have like a favorite activity with your students that you've done using technology that you could tell us about?
Well, well, with the ones that I like is Galaxy Math, educational math. Uh, well, allows us. It's really easy, user friendly, where you can give them like if they're having trouble at certain TEK, you can give them that assignment, and it gives them games and lessons, and they it keeps on going. So that's the one that I like the most.
And it motivates the students
Yeah,
probably in that area in math.
it does.
Nice. What, Miss Castillo, do you have a favorite technology activity that you've done with your students?
I really liked this recent, the PBL that we had where they had to create that, and like the rubric said that it had to be computerized and their presentation. So I was like, let's use Canva. Like I was always hesitant to use it because I was scared that it was going to be too difficult for them or they were going to, now that after Star, it was like, oh, we have the time, like, let's do it. So they were able to mess around with it. They were so happy with what they created. Like they, loved inserting everything in those slides and they learned how to do bar graphs and, using all those technology, I don't know. It was just really awesome for them to see what the outcome was. Like you really got to see their creativity. And I loved it. And I feel like, oh my God, like we could have done this. Like, we're always scared that it's gonna take too long and we don't have the time. And they like they did so good, and I was so proud of them and what they were able to create, and they were very proud of it too. Like they wanted to show everybody their presentations, and they couldn't wait to get onto the screen and, oh, this is what we're coming over, saving the ocean and all their things. And even like I had a student who they were gonna sell earrings right out of recyclable materials. So I was like, okay, well, where are you gonna put the earrings? And she was like, well, I can put them in like those little things that that have little holes and you stick them in. And I was like, okay, so go create something. So she went and she created each one of her labels, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. And I was like, now I'm gonna show you a little shortcut. So then I showed her how to just do one and then duplicate, and she was like, oh my God. I was like, I just wanted you to try first, so you could see and then see
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it was really nice for them. Like they really loved it. It was a cool thing for them to do.
It's great to see how they could be so creative, and we as adults think, oh, this is going to be too hard for them, but
Yeah.
they catch on faster than us. Yeah, and they're not afraid to click here and there and everywhere. So I love that. I love that they enjoyed that project.
Like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm not an expert at Canva, but they, were messing around so much that they're like, oh, look, miss. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like, yeah, you're right.
We limit sometimes in our minds what the students can do, and we get surprised, and that's an amazing surprise when we see what they're able to do.
And imagine using that for other projects throughout the
Yeah.
school year and not just for the PBL, what they could create and do.
Mm-hmm.
The next question for you, Ms. Castillo, will be, I want you to think about a personal time, so outside of school, that you use technology, and how did it change or has evolved?
Evolved, I would say the ease of it. Like it's so easy to just pull out your phone and, oh, let me go post this assignment, or, oh my gosh, like I have to find, using that ChatGPT. Like I'm one person, like if something comes to my head, I have to do it at that moment because I'm gonna forget. Like that's just how I was built. So all the time I'm like, oh, like my husband can be talking to me and I can like, oh, hold on, and like if I don't do it right then and there, then I'm gonna forget it. So I'll go look something up, or
Yeah.
or, oh, I have to post this assignment, and all the apps that are just at the tip of your fingers, just being able to do it so easily through your phone. And you get to work the next day and you're like, yeah, like, I'm prepared. Like I did it through my phone at, my daughter's softball practice or her basketball practice, and running around every day after school. Literally, we get home at like 9-10 o'clock every day. And I have to be able to do that out there, like, because I have to sit down and support her too. So I have to be able to just, let me just pull out my phone real quick and do something, fix something up. And I think that's, something that's different. Because I remember in college, like I wouldn't do that. Like it was like, oh, let me sit down and take out my computer and hook up to this Wi-Fi, and now it's like now at your phone, at your feet.
Instant.
Yeah, I think that's what outside, being so easy.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree. Mr. Ojeda, how about you?
Yeah.
How has technology changed or evolved in your usage of in your personal time?
Well, it takes a lot of time for me, but in a good way. Like, well, something that's changed is that it learns from like what you do, like like the AI, like it changes based on whatever you do, and it does the same thing with students. Like it also like she says, like I'll tell my students stories about the past. Like, well, I'm way older than she is. We used to go to the library to look up a question. Like we had a question, we have to go look up a book and then look up a different book. But now everything's on the phone and really easy to find the answers. Mhm. So that's how it's changed a lot. Like
Yeah, information is at your fingertips. Yeah,
yeah, it's easier and faster. Like everything's faster.
totally
Yeah,
agree. I'm
Go
like,
ahead,
I don't
Audrey.
even know if you have downloaded the ChatGPT app on your phone, and you talk to it and it talks back at you.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Like you can, hey ChatGPT, give me this and this and that, and then it responds like if it was a person. It's actually a conversation.
And here I am typing everything out in it.
Well, now I gave you
I know.
a tip. You can talk to it now.
Mm.
Yeah, technology has made our lives easier in a lot of ways. And of course, it's accessible to the world. So, Mr. Ojeda, do you have any advice for a teacher that maybe is reluctant to try the technology integration in their classroom?
Yeah, just to be open-minded and take the risk, Like at first when we go to trainings, I'm like, no, this is too hard. And then I try it out and it's a lot easier than I thought. And also have a good system like buddies, kind of like a workup buddy. Like whatever you don't know, they can help you with, and you help them with different things. So that's just be open-minded and just try it, go for it. You'll make mistakes, but eventually you'll get it.
Right. And it's okay to make those mistakes. And it's, it's
Yeah.
not going to maybe be perfect the first time, but it's, you can't learn something new without trying it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ms. Castillo, do you have any advice for a reluctant teacher that doesn't want to try technology integration?
Yeah, I completely agree with what he said. You have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to try things out. You can't be scared, like you don't know what the students are capable of, and now they're coming up knowing so much more, and it's like, don't hold them back. Like just try it out for them, because they're gonna get it, and that's what's gonna, that's their future. Like the technology is what's, that's what it is now. So scared to try it, and like he said, your coworkers will help you. Like when I needed help with an ear pod, and my coworker told me, and then my other coworker was like, hey, can you help me? I was like, yeah. So then I went and I helped her, and you just help each other out. And as long as you have, like you said, like don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try it out.
That's good. And if you don't know it, there's likely someone in your school that does, and don't be afraid to, ask. And I'm sure they're happy to, to help with that. And I like what you said about the future is technology. Like if we're not teaching our students technology or how to use it right now, every job out there uses technology. I mean, there's probably few jobs that don't, so they do need, to know how to use it. So I like that you pointed that out.
Totally agree. And I really like what you said, that you learned something and then you were able to teach it to somebody else. Because when you go into that level, when you become the teacher of something that you just learned, then you're really applying and you're really knowing that tool. So you're owning it now. So I'm very, very proud of both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else either of you want to add?
I think we're good. Yeah.
No, just help each other and
Uh-huh.
and we'll be fine. Like, yeah, that's it. Like,
Well, we do appreciate both of you you're definitely, you must stand out at your campus of, you know, as being technology users, since you were the chosen at your campus to be the integrators of the month, and then the write-ups that your CITs did for you stood out to us as, you know, that's why we chose you as the innovators. So we were happy that we could talk with you today and hopefully motivate some other teachers out there to take that step and, you know, just try to use a little bit of technology with their students. And I think most teachers are now, but there are some reluctant teachers out there. And, you know, it's not good to use it 24/7, of course, but it is good to use it in some parts of the day. And so we're happy, and we're so thankful that you two could join us this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous
Transforming the
day.
kids' lives.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.